In all honesty, I don't know how to respond to this one. I don't know how to feel about it. I waited a couple weeks for some new episodes to come in to see how it will turn out, and I don't know how to feel. Happy, sad, angry, disappointed. It's better than the games, at least. I guess the only thing I can say now is. But before I go into that, another episode recap, as I promised. Race with the Demon. This episode was weird. Really weird. So, a car is splashed with mutagen, and now it has become the Speed Demon, racing down highways and running cars off the road. So, Donnie and Casey work together, along with a mutated chicken named Dr. Cluckingsworth, MD. I'm saying the full name because I really like this chicken. In order to work together to make a new car in order to run this speed demon off the road. They soon find out that the mutant is the car, not the person driving the car, and the car promptly eats Donnie and mutates him into something out of Rob Zombie's Notebook. I know it's supposed to be a reference to like Ed Fink artwork or something like that, but I just look at that face and those hands, and all I can see is Rob Zombie. That's all that comes to mind. Anyway, so Speed Demon Donnie and Casey Jones have a race to see if Donnie will be freed from Speed Demon. And lo and behold, the van comes to save the day, and the Speed Demon claims he'll be back before exploding. This episode is okay. For me, not up to par to the previous episode with the Dream Beavers. The Speed Demon he was an okay villain, but he was an okay one-shot villain. Because, to be honest, the thing with possessing people and inducing these weird mutations on them, it only works once to see. So unless something happens like, oh, we'll see it work on a Krang or something, unless you see it happen to something new instead of a human or one of the turtles, then the Speed Demon is basically a one-trick pony. And it's pretty much good to see him gone at this point. The sequence that Donnie goes through when turning into the Speed Demon's new driver is, I'll be honest, kind of intense. And it goes by so fast that you can barely process what happened. And one last note. When Casey Jones pulls Donnie out of the Speed Demon, did anybody else notice that Donnie had no legs? Am I the only one that noticed that when Donnie was pulled out of the car, right before he turns back into normal, he doesn't have legs? Is this me? Okay. So, all in all, decent episode. Not the best villain. We get a really potentially good character with Dr. Cluckingsworth, since if he makes mutant eggs, then the turtles basically have a supply of mutagen, so they can make their own retro mutagen. So hopefully this isn't going to be like pushed to the wayside and Dr. Cluckingsworth is going to be a one episode character. Casey and Donatello are finally bonding again, and next week we're getting an episode that has the turtles going on a spirit quest before they finally go back to New York. I'm cool with that. Anyway, back to the review. Okay, so with these new designs, which I personally kind of like, except for all the sports tape, it comes with new exaggerated personalities. Sonic is a snarky loner, Tails is a smart one, which was already the case before, but now it's kind of overly exaggerated. The same case with Amy, who was kind of the girl before, but now it's really brought out. And Knuckles is dumb. The only person that doesn't have an exaggerated personality, but even then that's because she's a new character, is Styx, who's paranoid. Not to the point of being annoying, but it kind of gets grating after a while. And what they do with these new personalities can range from good to bad. Like, Amy can be overly girly, or Tails can be overly smart, like to the point of being an egotist. But that's only like rarely. with people like Sonic or Knuckles, when their personalities are let out to bring some jokes in, they get some really good jokes in. Eggman is I'll be honest, they're really pushing Eggman to be the villain in this one. Like 6 episodes have been produced so far, maybe 8, and Eggman has somehow worked his way to being the villain in every single one. There hasn't been an episode where Eggman hasn't been involved, which is kind of bad, because you're not leaving yourself room to make new villains that you can work with, and you're not leaving room for an episode where the characters aren't fighting, and they're just like having a little slice of life episode, interacting with each other, not working with each other. So the conflict is always going to be shifted towards Eggman, not between their own social group. And to be honest, Eggman's kind of boring in this one. I mean, a claw bot, but you name it Burn Bot, a ballot bot. Eggman has done so much worse in worse Sonic games. I mean, you can crap all you want on games like Sonic Unleashed or Sonic Lost World or stuff like that. But in games like those, Eggman is a legitimate threat. Need I remind you that in Sonic Unleashed, Eggman was able to do what he wanted most, build Eggman Land, and take over a natural evil that was buried deep in the earth. And in Sonic Generations, need I remind you that Eggman was able to take over a supposed supernatural being without it turning on him for once. Give me that kind of villainy. That's the kind of villainy I want in Eggman. Someone who is silly, yes, but he can get the job done. He's a threat. Here he's kind of a threat, but that's only when the episode isn't treating him like the Ice King or something. When he's not treated as comedy. When they can make him a threat, he's a threat. But more often than not, they're pushing him to the wayside and making him as more of an obstacle, like a hurdle. He's nothing more than an inconvenience at this point. And that's the reason why they should like maybe push Eggman to the side and try to make some new villains to work with, or bring back old Sonic villains, whatever ones they may be, that Eggman didn't have a hand in making. And all in all, the characters they're sort of in the middle. You got ones like Eggman or Amy, but then you got good ones like Knuckles and Sonic. Animation is, yeah. The animation is a unique case to talk about. Character designs aside, stuff like set designs, background animation, aesthetics, robot designs, they're not that original. Except for maybe a few robots or a few characters that look decent, nothing is really original. There's not a lot of unique character designs or a lot of unique backgrounds. But that's kind of supplemented for really vibrant looking colors and really smooth looking characters. Like, nothing is original, but it looks so polished. It looks so good. It's like, have you ever, like playing a Mario Galaxy game or playing Super Mario 3D World? It's like watching a video game. Everything is polished, everything is colorful, everything is popping out, everything is good. It looks good, but it's not original, is what I'm trying to say. So, they're supplementing appearance for originality. And that might be a complaint, but I personally don't have a problem with that in most cases. Other than a few character designs from the people that Sonic and the team are trying to save. Like, their character designs could be a bit more unique, and Eggman could give a few unique robots every now and then. but for the most part the animation is okay. So, what's the verdict on Sonic Boom? Well, it's better, like I said, it's better than the games. That's for dang sure. But I want to say it's a good cartoon because it's certainly not terrible. But there are some flaws that are making me want to say it's bad. So, for every joke that you get from Knuckles or Sonic or heck even Sticks, you get something from Amy or Tails or Eggman. For every bad character design, there is a good aesthetic to it. For every bad joke, there's a good joke. For every bad character, there's a good character. So, the show pretty much breaks even. It's standard. It's not spectacular, to say the least, unless they break out of their comfort zone and stop having Eggman as the main villain. Then the show pretty much breaks even. There's nothing good about it, there's nothing bad about it. It's not spectacular, it's not horrible, it's just... it's Sonic Boom. That's all there is to say about it. And as always, I'm the Critical Nerd. And stay tuned for our 50th review. Sonic Boom, this new alternate continuity that Sega has given us on the Sonic the Hedgehog series, which brings us back our beloved characters, but dramatically redesigned, with Sonic being taller, Knuckles being extremely taller and more top-heavy, Amy and Tails being pretty much the same, Eggman being an upside-down egg instead of a right-side-up egg, and introducing Sticks the Badger. And all of them, excluding Eggman and Sticks, have sports tape for some odd reason. Yep, a lot of people didn't seem to like it at first, but some people thought, you know what, maybe this would be good. Maybe this will be good. They made games. From what I've seen and heard, they were terrible. But from what I've personally seen from the cartoon, it's not that bad. Let me explain.